welcome back to another Java tutorial. My name is Kelvin from Firehawk Productions. In the last tutorial, we learned about for loops, which is really helpful to the tutorial that we're going to learn about today, which is arrays. And what exactly is an array? Well, an array in Java is like a list of things. And the things that you're allowed to put inside this list, also known as the array, is things like strings, things like integers, doubles, and if you want, booleans. Okay, so let's get started. To create a new class, I'm just going to name it array example. All right, and as always, main method. All right, okay. So here's how you create an array in Java. Follow what I do. What I want to do is I'm going to create an array, also known as a list, and I'm going to create an array of strings that represent the first 4 months of the year. So January, February, March, and April. Okay, so watch what I do. String Okay, so here's how you create the array. First, you write this string, open square brackets, close square brackets. This indicates that you're creating an array, and what follows after is the array name. So in my case, I named it months of year, and equals new string, and then you'll notice here that it says here string with square brackets around the 4, and what this means is I need to tell Java, when I create the array, I need to tell Java how many elements am I going to put inside the array. So right now I specified 4 because I wanted to put the first 4 months of the year, which is January, February, March, and April. What's interesting about arrays is that once you specify the number of elements that you can put inside this array, you can't change it, right? So it has to be fixed. So you say, once you say, I need to create an array with 4 elements, then you can't add any more. Okay, so that's a drawback. But anyways, how do we add things to this array, or also known as a list? Simple. All you have to do is type in the array name, which is, in my case, months of year. And then to add in something, so let's say I want to add January as the first element of the array. Every array starts with 0. The 0th element is also known as the first element. All right, so if I do months of year, open brackets, open square brackets, and then put a 0 in it, that means it's the first element of the array, and we want to name it January. All right, and now I'm gonna do this for the rest of the months. So it'll be open brackets 1 equals February. And then for March, the months of year 3 equals April. All right. So now if I try to do something like print out to the user a specific, say I want to print out April, then all I have to do is just type in months of year 3. All right, now let's try running that. I'm going to press save and then run. It's going to print out April. Perfect. Okay. So what if I want to print out all of these elements inside my array? Then a very inconvenient way would be to write system.out.println, every single month, or yeah, every single month from 0 all the way to, or from January all the way to April, but that's not very convenient. So how do we print all of the elements in an array with only a minimal number of lines? Here, I'm going to comment this out. Remember we learned about the for loop in the last tutorial, and I said it was going to be really helpful in arrays. Here's why. Watch this. I'm going to create a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus plus. Okay, now watch what I do. I'm going to print to the user all the months. Okay, what does this mean? Well, you know what system.out.println means, but how about what's inside here? I put months of year and then open square brackets I. From what we learned in the last tutorial, I means, well, I starts off with 0. So what happens is, in the first time the loop runs, it's going to print out the 0th element in my array months of year, which is January. And then after that, I is added 1, so now it becomes 1. And then it's going to print out months of year, open square brackets, 1, which is February. You see how it's going to keep going all the way until it reaches, sorry, I'm going to change this to 4, all the way until it reaches April. Right? So let's try that. Let's try running this. Save. Run. Perfect. This is exactly what we expected. Okay. That's pretty much the gist of how you create an array and how you iterate through the array using a for loop. Okay, but what if instead of, what if I have a lot of things in my array? What if I actually want to put all 12 months? Then I don't want to, type out all, I don't want to type this line out 12 times with different months in it. I just want to type in all the months at once and then create an array and just stuff all that into 12 elements of the array. This is really simple. Now watch this. I'm going to comment out all of this. Comment out all of this. All right. Now I'm going to show you a different way to create the array that you can put all the different things, all the different months all at once, instead of typing out months of year 0 equals January, months of year 1 equals February. Okay, watch this. So string months of year equals open curly brackets January, February, March, April. Okay, I'm just gonna do the first 4 months for now, but you get the idea. Okay. So instead of writing this 4 lines, instead of writing these 4 lines, I can put that all into just 1 line. And this means the exact same thing. Watch this. If I try to do a for loop again, for int, actually, here, I'm gonna cut this, paste it here, and uncomment it using Control/. Okay, watch what happens. Save, run. It's gonna print out the same thing. Isn't that cool? So you can save a lot of time by just writing this string, and you can play with different examples. Instead of string, you can actually try putting numbers, which you would change to this, and then it could be things like 4, 5, 6, whatever, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then you would print out blah blah blah. So I'm gonna just change it back to what we had before. And okay, so notice how I put in this for loop I put 4 here. But what if I didn't know how long the array was? Well, that's simple. In order to get the size of the array, which means the number of elements inside the array, there's a very simple way to access it. All you have to do is type in the array name, which in my case is months of year. And then you can write dot length. And what does this mean? This means that this will access the length of the array, which is the number of elements. So in this case, it's 4. It automatically knows it's 4 because there are 4 elements in the array. And so what this for loop means is you start off with I as the variable and you make it 0. And then you say while I is less than the length of the array months of year, which in our case is 4, then keep running the loop. All right, so instead of putting a static number like, like 4 or 5, you can easily put the length of the array and use it as inside the for loop. All right, that's pretty much it for arrays. Haven't decided what to teach in the next tutorial, but it should be fun. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and see you all next video.